Hi, I'm Dave Purdy, founding partner of Wealth Management Midwest. Attached to this short video is our market commentary. I just want to make a few comments on the markets. Gosh, I tell you, you can't believe this, but the first half of this year, the market has had a really big gain. As a matter of fact, we haven't had this kind of a gain in 5 years. And more specifically, last quarter, the S&P 500, according to Bloomberg, was up over 14% for the quarter. And year to date, it's up a little over 9%, almost 9.5%. So that's wow. Can you really say that? And then, you take a look at why is that? And I think a few reasons, and I know I sound like a broken record every time, but we still have fairly low unemployment. There's still a lot of cash on the sidelines. Earnings of these companies because of AI and so forth are just going really through the roof. So we've got a lot of positives. Now, we still have a lot of headwinds. I think the biggest headwind is just all the negativity in the news. I mean, gosh, if you think about the Democrats and the Republicans, then you think about the tornadoes and the floods and the fires, and we just have to keep, the market just cares about earnings. And as long as we're earning, that's really, really positive. And I think that we can always have a 5, 10, 15, and even 20% market drop. It's normal, it's natural. And one of the things I get a little nervous about being here for 38 years is, this market, the last, several years really since the pandemic, has really just kept going higher and higher and higher. And so, at some point we're due for a drawdown, but that might not be for a while. More specifically, I thought this might be kind of interesting. I like kind of little facts for the first half of the year, but if you look at, and I'm going to put on my glasses here so I can read a couple statistics that I thought would really be fun. But according to Bloomberg, gold had the worst quarter in 13 years. Gold had the worst quarter in 13 years. Isn't that interesting? The other thing is Bitcoin year to date is down over 30%. And gosh, Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies are getting all this hype. Boy, that's a big hit, down 30%. So I think it's interesting the S&P keeps going like this and these other assets are maybe not doing quite as well. Then I thought something very, very interesting. I subscribe to Morning Brew, and it has interesting facts, and they came out with a bunch of interesting facts for the first half of 2026. And I wanted to share these with you, and some of them are market related and some of them aren't. But nevertheless, I thought this was interesting. The average Midwestern household spends 32% more on their pets than the national average. And I was thinking about that. Of course, we've got a Cocker Spaniel and 2 Manchester Terriers. And everybody, but the Midwest, 32% more. Another thing is, I thought was interesting, for the third time ever in America, there are more women employed than men. And think of that. And when I was growing up, my mom and all of my friends, their mothers never worked. They always worked. They worked inside the home. They were working, but just inside the home. But now in the workforce, you've got more women working than men for only the third time it's ever happened. I thought another thing that was just interesting is last year, 40% of Americans didn't read a single book. And I do a lot of reading, and I got to tell you, that was a little bit shocked. You can imagine 40% of the people not reading a single book. I thought that was an interesting statistic. And then one last one, if Paul Revere took his famous ride this year versus when he did, he'd pass 7 Dunkin' Donuts. So it's really kind of interesting. But I think that read the market commentary. If you have any questions, call Chad or I. And I just wish you a happy 4th of July, and we'll look forward to being in touch.